Hello and welcome to the demo of Zappanana. Let's go over the block diagram first quickly. So we have our sample input, and the first thing that happens is the user can either enable or disable base mode. If they enable base mode, all it does is it reserves some of the low end, I believe 200 Hertz and below, to be unprocessed and gets fed straight to the output, and the rest of the signal is what the processing happens on. Otherwise, the signal just comes in, goes through 4 different delay taps. They each have a wet gain knob, and then the dry mix also has a gain knob. They all get summed together. Oh, there's also panning on each of these and rate control, obviously. The feedback knob controls the feedback for all of the delay taps. And just to prevent things from getting too crazy, it only goes up to 50%. Then we can either go through a flanger, vibrato, or chorus, and the modulation there is controlled by either an LFO with rate and depth control, and an envelope detector on the signal, or an envelope detector on a sidechain signal. And there's also a feedback knob here. And yeah, that's basically it. Okay, so I'll just go ahead and demo some of the controls here. The first 3 delay taps are synced to BPM, so you can choose between quarter note, triplet, eighth note, etc. But if that's not your thing, the last tap is in freewheel mode, so you can pick your own delay time in milliseconds. Each tap has wet gain, sliders, and panning. And the feedback here controls the feedback of all 4 taps. And just to prevent things from getting too crazy, it only goes up to 50%. So, as you can hear, we can do some pretty musical things, especially with drum loops. Okay, over here we have the modulated delay effects. By default, it's set to a flanger modulated by an LFO. We can also have the modulation source be an envelope follower with threshold and sensitivity controls. That paired with the flanger gives us the dynaflanger effect, which was supposedly Frank Zappa's favorite effect, and thus the name of the plugin. We also lastly have this bass mode knob, which, as I explained earlier, just reserves the low end from being processed. This is really useful for things like drum loops with bass heavy kicks, because putting it through all these delays can really muddy up the low end, which we don't want. Lastly, we have some factory presets which I designed. There's a brief description of each preset and the best use for them on my website.
Ooh, 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 yeah. Ooh, 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 yeah. Ooh.